Good morning. I tell you, this week got around pretty quick again and got back to us. Excited about winning the game last week. I think that there were a lot of positives and still a lot of things that we can keep the team grounded on, a lot of things to work on. Got to play a lot of players, so that's always good for morale and a chance to see some of the young guys, and looking forward to seeing how much improvement we can make from week 1 to week 2. Certainly the competition level is going to ratchet up a little bit, so we'll see if we can make some improvement in a ton of areas from last week to this week. So with that, I guess we'll open it up for questions.
Did you see any differences looking at in the Purdue game versus what you guys saw last year in terms of what they were doing offensively or defensively?
No, I think they're very similar. I think that Rick's kind of had a plan, and they've pretty much stuck to it. Both guys that are the coordinators, I think, were on staff, and so there's a lot of continuity with what they were doing a year ago, I think.
Paul, as you've looked at the film and now had practice with as far as the fumbling and the special team stuff, can you kind of elaborate on what y'all done to address that?
Well, you just keep practicing. The fumbling actually was, we fumbled one straight handoff. The other fumbles were quarterback center exchanges, I think. And the other fumble was a defensive lineman trying to go fall on a punt. It wasn't the special team. The defense was on the field. We didn't have a punt returner in. We were just going to take the ball wherever they kicked it, and we just made poor judgment call to go down and try to fall on the ball. You just keep working on it. It's frustrating to everybody. It's frustrating to me that you have quarterback center exchange problems, and we work on it every day in practice and continue to work on it and make it a big deal and hope those go away. It's a lot of it's fundamental issues, and well, not all, a lot of it. It's all fundamentals, really. Of course, there's always a story. I mean, the ball's always slipping or something happens, but it's unacceptable. You just can't allow it.
How would you rate the performance of the offensive line now that you've had time to look back?
They were okay. I mean, nothing great. We got to play better up there.
You kind of mentioned the answer a little bit, but with quarterback, center quarterback change, is it typically one thing is not going right, or someone's not doing one particular aspect of the job, or is it really, it could be a variety of different?
Well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask the center, he's tell you he's snapping it up there. If you ask the quarterback, he'll tell you he's not getting it. It can be a myriad of things. I mean, a couple of them I think we pulled out quick. There was a couple that were just bad snaps, so it was some of both.
Will you adjust personnel at all with special teams, or do you feel like there's
Well, I just want to be better on the special team scheme. I mean, I think sometimes when I come in and say something, it gets, maybe we make a bigger deal. I've got to be careful what I say. I mean, if you look at the special teams, the kickoff return team was okay. I mean, we got the ball out past the 35-yard line. We only had a chance to return one punt. He returned it for over 15 yards. The kickoff team was okay. The placement of the ball wasn't great. But, when I said we got to work on the special teams, certainly you can get better in all of it, but really the big snafu in special teams was getting the kick blocked. And we've addressed that. I thought we had it addressed before, but we've addressed it again, and hopefully that won't happen again. But we also got to kick the ball higher, too. We had one blocked yesterday in practice, same way, kicks it into the line. I don't care how good you block. If you kick that thing head high, somebody sticks their hand up, they're going to hit it. So from that aspect, we just got to keep refining and doing those kind of things. But to me, it's way too early to evaluate changing a lot of personnel on special teams and all those kind of things, because it's pretty hard to evaluate the punt return team. I mean, I think they netted about 33 yards a punt, but they're running sideways, kicking it on the ground. You're not going to have many returns.
With the
front on the kickoff return. Did you see
Mm-hmm.
an improvement in the changes you made from last year?
Well, some guys got them and some didn't, but that's why you play the game. That's always going to happen. I think that I'm happy with the scheme changes we made. I think guys know who they got. It's just a question of blocking them. And, you know, like I said, I think we got the kickoffs, the ones we returned out past the 30 every time, and he looked like he was close to breaking a couple. One time he kind of tripped himself. And, you know, they'll get better at that, I hope. But I'm happy with the scheme.
Do you think the success of the passing game in the first game is going to help the confidence of the quarterbacks and receivers?
Oh, it might. I mean, you know, I wouldn't make too big a deal out of one game. We did. So it's just kind of the nature of the way the game went. It's the nature of the way they were playing, and some individual guys made some good plays. You know, two of the long pass plays were hitch routes that Stephen and Tyler stiff-arm guys and got away from them. As the competition increases, that will be less likely. But I thought that we did throw the ball more efficiently. We protected better than we did last year, which gives us a chance to throw the ball, I think.
Well, all these guys, they're at Purdue last week. You're the third ACC team to visit there. It's really a two-for-one swap scheduling-wise, but it speaks to what they're trying to accomplish with their program. To arrange a situation where y'all go.
Yeah, well, they're trying to grow their program, and that league has got to do some things. I mean, they play some BCS teams. They're money games for them to help their athletic department, and in return, they got us coming there. So, you know, they play 2-for-1s, or they'll go to other places and play because they have to, and they've been very competitive. I don't think they're going to shy away from us because we're Georgia Tech. They're excited that we're coming, I'm sure.
Here's what are just your thoughts in general about playing schools in conferences like that, you know, the non-BCS conferences?
Well, I think everybody does it. I mean, that's just part of scheduling. It's hard to get a schedule anymore, and you know, normally you're going to play 3. If you play 4 non-conference games, most people will play at least 3. Some will play 4 non-BCS games. Historically here, we've played 2. But I think if you look at most of the other teams, they'll play 3 or 4.
If you had your druthers, would you prefer 3?
Probably. Yeah, the conference is tough enough.
I hadn't looked it up. Do you have a relationship with Rick Stockstill at all?
I know Rick. I mean, we've known each other for a while. I'd say we're friends. You know, we don't do vacations together or anything, but we know each other, and I would categorize Rick as a friend.
How important is it for you guys to do better rushing the passer this week?
Well, it's always important. I think we had 4 sacks. I mean, you know, you're probably not going to get many more than that in a game. The big question is going to be, as the competition gets better, can we continue to get, you know, if you average 4 sacks a game, you'll probably lead the country at the end of the year. You're never satisfied. Anytime the guy's got more time to throw than you think he should, you're always trying to work on it and get better. I'd like to be able to get more pressure without bringing pressure. That would be a positive. I think most of our sacks last week, with the exception of maybe 1, we had pressure coming, you know. So you'd like to be able to do better without bringing extra guys.
Can you tell me how Tyler ended up here, Tyler Gidney? It sounds like he had a connection, I guess, through a coach with you. Is that right?
Well, when Tyler was in high school, a guy named Pat Spurgeon, who used to help coach at Georgia Southern, who helps a bunch of high school teams. Everybody just knows him as Doc Spurgeon. Doc called me and asked me if Tyler could walk on. He thought that he would be a good player. And he fit what the academic we could get him in school. And so, yeah, it was a deal where we brought him in to walk on. Or-
basically took him on Coach Spurgeon's recommendation.
Well, yeah, and we watched him on tape, but I've known Doc Spurge for a long time, and yeah, I know him well enough to take a walk on if he recommends one. Plus, it's hard for us to find guys that can get in school and walk on.
Any redshirt decisions? Coming?
Yeah, well, they'll be here over the course of the season. We know for a fact that most of the guys who were in jerseys and didn't wear pads are going to redshirt on the last game unless 2 or 3 guys get hurt. The guys who dressed out, still up in the air. I mean, we'll see. We may have to have them.
What do you think of Maryland's uniforms last night?
I got more to worry about than Maryland's uniforms. I've gotten enough emails on our uniforms. I don't need to worry about Maryland's.
I guess looking at the film, did you have trouble seeing the numbers or even on the field? Or?
No. Of course, I know who they are. But no, we didn't have any trouble. But I can understand that it was hard to see from the upper deck, I guess. So we'll try. I think Dan's working to try to adjust it.
You had mentioned that Stephen had some mismatches and took advantage of them.
Mhm.
Are you kind of looking forward to see him against some tougher corners, and does this week present a better test?
Well, I think the competition's going to be better. Stephen is physically the kind of guy that's going to have some mismatches against a lot of people he plays. I mean, the kid's almost 6'5", and he's 210 pounds, and is really fast. And if he's consistent catching the ball and doing what he can do, then he's going to have a mismatch against a lot of folks. So is Jeff Green out there. He's kind of the same mode. So that's exciting. Hopefully he can continue to keep working hard and keep progressing.
Will it be necessary at all for you to have Coach McCollum talk to the team about what playing up there is like or anything like that, other than just cloud?
I don't think so. Coach McCollum hadn't been up there in a long time. They'll figure it out when they go run on the field. I mean, I don't know if that's something you can talk about. It's something you have to experience. And then I'm sure they're going to have a great crowd, and they'll be loud, and it'll be noisy, but we'll be playing in front of a lot bigger crowds.
What was your impression of the game last night, aside from the uniform?
What I can remember, I actually fell asleep. I woke up at the end when right before the guy from Maryland kicked the field goal. I thought both teams looked good. I mean, Maryland moved the ball really well until they got in the red zone, and I thought you take 8 starters off any team, that's going to be tough. I thought that the kids from Miami stayed in there and had a chance to win the game right till the end.
Ever thought about wearing a shirt tie?
No. You ever thought about wearing one of the game?
I did for years. Don't anymore.
It'd be good. I'd like to see
Feels
it.
good.
Be sharp.
Maybe I'll do that for the Georgia game.
It'd be good.
For you.
Do you have thoughts about just all the talk and some of the movement with the conference realignment about what it says about the game or just where things are headed?
I try not to worry about stuff I can't control, and I don't have any control over that. Or you have to trust the presidents and the athletic directors and the conference and all that to get it right. We're going to play wherever they tell us to play. So.
You've talked to Josh or any of those guys that are on the practice squad?
Nope, I haven't. I think the only guy I've talked to was Lucas. That's great for them. I'm excited for Josh and Mario Butler and Kevin Cone. That's great for Kevin, and hopefully they'll have a good experience and can get added onto the roster at some point. That'd be great if they could do that.